Hi guys, welcome to JD's Kitchen and thank you guys for stopping by. Today we are going to be making puff puff and I'm going to show you guys the exact measurements which I believe if you follow to the T, you're going to have excellent puff puff, okay? So to make our puff puff, we're going to be needing 6 cups of flour, 1/3 cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and then 3.5 cups of water. So I begin by putting my yeast, which is of course 1 tablespoon. Like I said before, I'll put it in the pot and then I'm going to add 2 cups of water first. Now these are the cups I'm using to measure. If you don't have these cups, I think you can find these cups in any market, but if you don't have it, I think you can use your own cups, but you have to improvise somehow. I don't know exactly how you do that, but I would advise that you use the exact same measurements. So you see me going ahead to add my salt. I just added my 1 teaspoon of salt and then I am adding my 1/3 cup of sugar, and this was not sweet at all. So if you do not have a sweet tooth, if you don't like your puff puff sweet, this is a measurement you should be using. But if you want your puff puff to be sweet, maybe you want to add another 1/3 cup, or you want to take it up to maybe 1 cup, but I feel like 1 cup is going to be extremely sweet and I do not think puff puff is meant to be sweet. So I'm using instant yeast, so I don't even have to go through the process of waiting and all of that. So that's why you see me, I have added my salt and my sugar. I added 2 cups of water. Now I'm adding another cup of water. This makes it already 3 cups of water, and at some point I'm going to add the other half cup of water. Now I'm putting in all my flour. This is a measurement I have used before, so I'm not doing try and error. Like, I'm not thinking, oh, will it be okay, will it not be okay? That's why I go ahead and put my water, I go ahead and put my flour. But even though I'm used to this measurement, you can still see that I did not put the remaining half cup of water immediately. So when you're making your puff puff, you want to be careful with how you're putting in the water and the flour. Normally, if I was just trying out something, I would not put in all the flour because I'll be like, okay, maybe I should leave some flour, maybe I should, okay? So when you're mixing your ingredients, you want to do it carefully to be sure that, okay, it shouldn't get too light, because if it's too light, you might not be able to mold your puff puff balls, and then if it's too thick, it might just not be airy. So you see, I'm adding half cup. I carried a full cup and then I poured half. I didn't use all of it, that's why I kept the rest back. So I've added all my 3.5 cups of water, and then I'm just going ahead to mix. When making puff puff, you want to wash your hands really clean so that you can go ahead and mix your batter, okay? I don't know if people mix puff puff with other things like maybe mixers. I have not seen, but if some people are uncomfortable having to touch dough with their fingers, maybe you can wear like a glove or something. But yeah, I'm comfortable doing it that way. So now after I finished mixing, I just covered it with a cloth and kept it in a warm environment so that it can rise. A couple of hours later, this was like an hour 30 minutes later, I opened my puff puff and it had already risen, and I went ahead to start my frying process. So this is what you want to see when you've kept your batter for a while. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be longer. I was busy, so I came back and my puff puff had risen. Now I'm just going to beat it, take out all the air in the batter, mix it, and then at this point I already had my oil on the fire. I have a video showing you guys how to achieve very round puff puffs, okay, because I know that a lot of people struggle with making their puff puffs round. A lot of the times, even myself, when I just started making puff puff, my shapes were not good at all, and even now you see that some of them have some little horns on them. But I think if I was more intentional, I would have gotten it really round. I have a video where I showed you guys how I get my puff puff to look really round. You can check that video out if you are interested. So one thing I do when I make puff puff is that I fill up my pot. Like, I fill it up so much, like I don't want space, like a pack of sardines, so tight. Because when you do it that way, you know, when you're trying to turn your puff puff, it always rolls over in such a way that one side keeps cooking and the other side stays up. So when you feel the pot and the puff puffs are like they're hitting on each other, there is absolutely no way for it to roll over once you turn it with your spoon. So that's a trick that I do to ensure that I don't go through the stress of trying to turn one puff puff and it keeps rolling over and all of that. Yeah, so I'm just adding in more puff puff. Yeah, I hope you try out this recipe. follow it exactly as you've seen me do. If you must add something, maybe it should just be the sugar or maybe salt, depending on your taste buds. But when it comes to the water and the quantity of flour, if you want your puff puff to have this texture, then you want to follow exactly as I have said. What do you eat your puff puff with? It was a cold morning in Limbe and we had puff puff and pap for breakfast. What do you eat your puff puff with? Is it beans? Is it pepper? Is it whatever? Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one.